Hi. Till yesterday we had seen what is SQL, what is a table, and yesterday we have seen what is how a row will look like and how a column will look like. What is primary key, what is foreign key, and what is the role of primary key and what is the role of foreign key, and how many types of primary keys are there, and how we can have a connection between one table to another table. These are all things we have seen, right? So now today we will going to we'll see about SQL basics. What are the basic things we have to learn in SQL? Okay, so SQL, as you know, SQL is a structured query language and it is used to interact with the DBMS. Okay, right? So using SQL, what all are the things we can do? So we can create, retrieve, update, delete, tables, data, and everything we can do. We can create and manage the databases, and we can design a database, we can create a database, and also we can perform some administration tasks like security, user management, import the data, export the data to some other system, or import data from some other system. So these are all things we can do using SQL query language. That means structured query language. So all these things, whatever you want to do in SQL, you have to do it in a format. I mean, you have to write a line which is called as query. So actually, as I already told, different RDBMS systems will use different SQL. Means SQL is same, but there will be slight difference in the SQL statements that they are using. So all the platforms would use SQL only. Only there would be a slight difference in writing SQL. There's less syntax difference or the words they are using. Though there will be a small difference when they are using uh, SQL. So this is what I have mentioned here. Not all RDBMS follow the SQL standard to team in. So all will not follow the same way. So the concepts are the same, but the implementation may vary. Okay. Now here, if you see, these are the four things that we are going to learn in SQL. These are the four. So SQL is a collection of four different languages, which is here, if you see, data query language, data definition language, data control language, and data manipulation language. So SQL is collection of these four languages. So if you know DQL, DDL, DCL, and DML, then you know SQL. So this is what SQL means. And some other also say there is some other language called TCL. So that is also part of this, but many will say okay, these four are the SQL languages. That is not included here, but those operations also can be performed by SQL. We will see transaction control language, it is called. So transaction control language which will perform two things, that commit and rollback. What is commit and what is rollback? See, you have done something, you have inserted some data into a table, and if you have given commit means that data is saved, commit is safe, and rollback is undo, control Z kind of thing. So rollback means you have performed some action and you don't want to, you want to come back, you want to roll back, you want to undo it action. So rollback is kind of undo, it is control Z in normal way I'm saying. So this is also one of the SQL languages only. So now we have seen DQL, data query language, data definition language, data control language, and data manipulation language. And one more thing is transaction control language. So if you see here, transaction control language is not included, and means some institutions will say transaction control language is also included and some may not say, but I will tell you both. So these are the four languages. Here I have not included transaction control language. I'll also show the diagram with transaction control language also. But you see what is DDL, what is DQL, what is DML, and what is DCL, and what are the operations they will perform. What are the things we can do using these things. So DDL means data definition language. The name itself is saying it can define something, right? So here if you see the operations, create, you can do create a table, you can do create a database, you can do. So you can create something and you can alter it. Alter means you can modify it. Modify means you can suppose when in the initial level you have created a table with 3 or 4 columns, and later you want to add one more or two more columns to it, then you can, using this alter command, you can alter the table and add one or two more columns, or you can also delete one or two more columns from that table. And a drop means you can completely delete the table. So drop is used to delete a table. You can rename that table. Truncate is also kind of deleting table, but I'll tell you the difference between drop and truncate. So drop means you're completely deleting that table. So that means that table will not exist. And truncate means you are deleting the complete data. Whatever is there inside that table, you're completely deleting that data. So table will still exist, but no data will be there. When you're using truncate command, there will not be any undo option. If you truncate that table, then data is gone. You cannot undo that. So before using truncate, we must be very careful. If you use truncate and you know you have truncated that table, means all the data is gone. It cannot come back. No undo option is there for this truncate, and comment is there. So these are all the DDL options. So all these things we would not be using. In the next slide, I'll be showing you what are the main things we will be using out of these four. And one is DQL. DQL means data query language. So the name itself is saying you can query something. So already data is there, some information is there. What you want to do is you just want to see the information. That means you're querying something, and the information will be shown up on the screen. That is what data query language. And this is very very big topic, and after some time all our course will be on this data query language only, and this itself will have major part of SQL. Okay, on select itself we will be having 3 to 4 classes. So this is the main thing that we have to learn in SQL. So and next thing is data manipulation language. Data manipulation language means you can manipulate the data. Means inside the table you can insert some data, you can update that data, you can delete that data, you can merge some columns. So all these things are there. So all these options we will not be using, but main thing is insert, update and delete. So these three things we will be using. This is called data manipulation language. And one more is there, data control language. Data control language itself is saying, suppose there is a table and you are the owner for that table. It is the case that whom you want to give the control, who can access your table, so and who cannot access your table, whom you are making authorized person to access the table, and whom you are making not authorized to access that table. So you can grant access to a particular person or particular, you know list of IDs to access your table, and you can also revoke that access after some time. So these are the four things: DDL, DQL, DML, and DCL. And mainly after, so DML, these DDL, DML classes would be over in 1 or 2 sessions, but later mainly we will be having more session on select only, DQL only. So after this, our entire course will be on this select only. On this only we will be having, so much explanations, and there are so many options in select, so we have to go through each and every one. So major part will be covered in select only. And then see here I have included TCL also. So here I have given only the major functions that I have removed what we will not use. But here I have given the major things what we use basically. So DDL, create, drop and update. Truncate also we can have it here. So drop means you're completely dropping the table, you're completely deleting the table, and truncate means you're completely um, deleting the data inside the table, and you cannot undo it. So using here in DML delete also, you can delete the entire data inside the table, but you can undo that operation. But if you use this truncate here, truncate, using truncate, if you have deleted means you cannot undo that operation. So here I've given that uh, basic high level thing, that these are all the major things that we are going to use. And TCL is commit and rollback, as I've explained already. Commit means whatever the changes you have made, and those will be saved permanently. And rollback means whatever the changes you have made recently, you can undo those changes. So that is what rollback means. And DML is insert, update, and delete, data manipulation language. So these three actions we will perform majorly. And DCL is data control language, and you can grant access and you can revoke access to a particular person or to particular IDs on your tables or on your database. So this is data control language. And if you have to create a table, then you will use DDL, data definition language. Using this create, you will create a table or database. We have already seen, right? Means how a table will look like. So to create that table, and we know what is a database, all things, right? So first we have to create a database. Inside that database we will be creating tables. So you can create database also with this create option. You can create tables also with this option. And drop is if you want to drop that table permanently, you can delete that table. And alter means you want to do any changes in that table. You want to add column, you want to add primary key, you want to add foreign key later, or you want to delete some columns from the table, or you want to delete the relation, foreign key relation or something. So you can do any kind of uh, altering the table at higher level. Means alter is not to alter or modify the data inside the table. Alter is to modify the attributes of the table, modify the characteristics of the table. So if suppose you means the layout of the table you can change using this alter. You can add or remove columns. You can create a primary key. Even if suppose you already created a table and you didn't create primary key when you are creating that table, and later you can come back and create primary key to that table using this alter command. Insert is to insert data into a table. And update is already you have inserted data, then you later you want to update something. Suppose uh, name column is having Kate or something, then you came back and you're thinking you want to change the name from Kate to Jocks. Using this update, you can update those rows information. A delete is some particular row you want to delete, so complete that row will be deleted. If there are some, suppose 10 rows in a table and you want to delete 2 or 3 rows, you can delete those 2 3 rows using this delete command, and there will be 7 or 8 rows will be left in that table. Grant and revoke I have already explained, and commit, rollback also. And DQL is the main thing, data query language, that is select. So using select we will do many things, and select is having so many options that I will be explaining you. So all our course would be in select only. And here this is a sample query. So anything you want to write in SQL, whatever you're writing, that is called as a query. So query is a set of instructions given to the RDBMS, that means written in SQL, that tells the RDBMS what information you want it to retrieve it for you. So that is query means. So there will be tons of data in database, and a simple query can fetch the required data out of the tons of data for you. So there could be lakhs of records, but if you give a query, out of lakhs of record, one record will come out and shown up on the screen for you. So that is what query means. You're querying something, that information will come to you. And often hidden in a complex schema. Goal is to only get the data you need. So these two things you will understand, but finally third thing you can understand, that finally to get the information what we need. This is how a simple select query will look like. You forget about this where in the third line. You just see select employee name and employee age from employee. So this is the employee table, and select name and age column from the table, so that when you run this query, right, you will be having name and age columns in the output window. So this is the simple query, but we will come to know where we will be doing it practically. So just to show you that how a select query will look like. Okay, and now I'll show you what all are the softwares required to learn this SQL or to practice yourself, and you just install. There are two softwares required to work on this. So those two are free softwares only. You don't have to pay anything. Those are two are open source softwares. So I'll tell you how to install, and you don't have to install full functionalities. That also I'll show you only what all are the things you need to install. You install those things only, then we can practically work on these things. I'll show you what to install, and you can install in your laptops.
So, so we will use MySQL as our DBMS for learning this SQL course. So I'll show you how to download this MySQL software in our system. Just go to Google and type MySQL community server. Okay, you see here MySQL community server and give enter. You're seeing that dev.mysql.com downloads. You click on the first link. Now here you can see there are multiple download options, but here we have to go to download page, click on go to download page, and here we have to download the first thing, this MSI installer 18.6 MB. This you download, click on download. Here it will ask you login or sign up. You just give no thanks, just start my download. Now your file will be downloaded. You see your file is already downloaded here. Now you just click give yes here, yes. It will tell you some upgrade is available, something like that. You just give no here, and here by default, if you just go by developer default option, it will install everything in your system, and it will take very long time, and actually you don't need all the functionalities to be installed in our system. For this course we will go with custom here, so you just select on custom. We will just install what we require for this course only, so we'll go with custom. Click on custom, next, and here we will select what all the functionalities we need. So click on here, you are seeing this plus, right? Click on MySQL servers, and again MySQL servers plus this you click, and 8.0 is then on the first one. You click in the plus symbol, then here you are seeing the first thing, MySQL server 8.0.19 64-bit, right? This you select and click on this one, right arrow, so it is selected now. And one more thing what we have to select is go to applications and go to MySQL shell, and first one SQL shell 8.0, and select the first one MySQL shell 8.0.19 64. You select, and this also you just move it to right side. So these two things you have selected, and so these two are enough for us. We don't need any more else from this functionalities. We just need only these two, MySQL server 8.0.1 and MySQL shell 8.0.1. These two things are enough for us. So then click on next, and next. You still have warnings which are not quite sure you want to continue. Yes. Now here you click. Why that warning? Maybe for you guys it won't show any warning, because for me it is showing, because that file is already exists, it is saying. So that is why, because I have already installed, and to show you I have uninstalled it, so that is why it is showing. Okay, now for you guys it won't show any warning. You just have to click on next. Now we have seen, right, MySQL Server 8.0.19 and MySQL Shell 8.0.19 that we have selected. So now you click on execute, it will be downloaded. Okay, and this will take some time. Sometimes here it will show that download Visual C options, Microsoft Visual C, if it is already not there in your laptop. So since I'm having, it is not asking me to download. So otherwise, those options also will come here only, and you will have to download. Then it will show this downloading options. Okay. So now if we see, this is downloaded and we can see the status complete. So let us click on next, and then again next. Here don't have to do anything, just give next, and you just remember the port is 3306. This will be useful. You just have to remember, you don't have to do anything. Next, and here you use this legacy method instead of strong password recommended for authentication, something like. You use this use legacy authentication method. You click on this, and next. Here you just give some password which will be useful going forward. You will be using this password, so just give any password. I'm giving as password 1, and repeat that password, password 1. So I'm just using this, then click next, and next, and then click execute. So once these all are done, then we are done with the setup of MS SQL. Now click finish, then next, and then finish. So you just close this, and so once you have closed it, you just come and search here MySQL. So here you are seeing that MySQL command line client tab, right? You just open this. Here it is asking for enter password. You just give what is the password that we have been created, password 1 in my case. So whatever you have created, you just give that password and give enter. So here, so actually all the operations that we had been discussing can be done here. Means you can create a table, you can create a database, you can insert rows into table, you can delete, you can update, you can do everything from here. So let us say first, let me just create a database. It is like, syntax is create database, and you have to give the database name. Let us call it as SQL1. Okay, and semicolon. You remember, any SQL command that should end with a semicolon. So semicolon is the terminator for SQL command. So all SQL commands, all SQL queries must end with a semicolon. Okay, and this is the simple syntax: create database name. This will create the database. We will just give enter, and it is a query okay, 1 row affected. So that means our database has been created, and we can do all our operations also here. But you see, this is looking like a command line, right? So it won't be effective when you are seeing, you means you won't see the actual presentation of the tables or something. So this is this here, you can't understand it clearly, or it won't look good. So that is why I'm suggesting one more software that you have to install is, one more thing I'll tell you. One is Pop SQL. You just search Pop SQL. This is one software that will visualize more, means whatever data that we are creating, inserting, there's a table, how it will look, how it can be seen, all these things. Visualization is good here. So we will just use that MySQL DBMS, and we will link it to this Pop SQL, so that we can do all our operations here. And here I can explain you better, and you will also understand it better. But if you just see it here, it will be not clear. This is just for the purpose I'm showing you. Here also you can do everything. You don't have to install Pop SQL also, but it won't look good. Now let us go and enter popsql.com. Here, see here, you're not seeing any, you know, download option, right? Here you have to give your mail ID, uh, and say get started. So here you have to log in first, uh, or you have to sign up. If you have to sign up, just click on sign up here and sign up. But I'm already having account here. I will just log in. So I logged in. So when I logged in, here you have got download, and here also you have download now option. Earlier that download option was not there, right? So now you click on this download. Now this will take some time, and so once this is downloaded, I will explain you. So see here, now it is downloaded, and we will just click on this with the exe file which is downloaded here down. Click on that, and now it is saying, you just say run. It is installing. So now this is installed. Let us see. Open. And here again you have to log in with your email. One minute. Okay, you just sign in with your email. Come down, sign in, your mail ID and password. So now you're signed in. Now you click on return to the PopSQL app. Okay. So when you open the PopSQL, it will look like this. So you just click on new connection. Here you just give name, let us say SQL1, and type you have to select MySQL, and host name would be localhost, you remember this, and port is 3306 only, you remember that time we have kept it, I asked you to remember this, and database is SQL1. Username you have to give root here, and password is the password what we have created there. So in my case it is password1, and this you can have it and connect. So now it is connected, right? So if you see here, now we have connected. Let us say we can what we will do. So from here you can do everything. You can create table, insert, everything we can do. So that I will show you tomorrow. Okay, thank you.